Hey piano friends, I'm Deanna, and today I'm going to show you how to draw the grand staff. In our previous video I showed you how to draw the treble clef and the bass clef, so if you need to, go back and review that. But today we're going to put it all together in the grand staff, which is what pianists use. It's got a treble clef and a bass clef and a full staff, and it's what we use all the time. We're going to start with the staff itself, which consists of 5 lines. Now you could bring out a ruler and draw them and make sure they're exactly the same width apart. I'm not going to worry about that today. I'm going to do them kind of wavy and make it more of an artistic approach so that I don't have to worry about the ruler. So we're going to start with those 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got the 5 lines that make up the treble staff, and now I've got to do 5 lines that'll make up the bass staff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm going to clean up this end over here because you can see they all ended up being different lengths. Fix this line, didn't come quite long enough. These look pretty good. Now I'm going to connect the 2 staffs. So I'm just going to draw a line that goes right through both and fix that smudge. I'll do lots of fixing smudges, I'm sure. Now, when you're playing music or you're accompanying singers or other instruments, you'll have not only your staff for the piano part, but you'll have the part that the other instruments are using too. You can find your part by looking for the bracket that points out where the piano part is. We call it the grand staff bracket. So to draw that, I'm going to start with a long, skinny S. So I'm going to start at this top line. Can you see how that's sort of an S shape, right? And then for the second half of it, I've got to do it backwards. So instead of coming this way for the first curve, I'm going to go to the right for the first curve. I'm going to start right at this point. Okay, so there's our bracket, and that will always point out where the piano part is. Okay, next we're going to put on the treble clef. And again, if you're not sure how to draw this fancy symbol, please review the video called How to Draw a Treble Clef. But we're going to start out of these 5 lines, it's the second line up. We're going to start right on that line. We're going to come up to the next one, down to the bottom one, and then put our full staff on there. So here we go, right from the second line, up, down, and put the tail on. Okay, there's our treble clef. All right, for the bass clef, we're going to start on the second line down. So the treble clef, we started on the second line up. Bass, we're going to start on the second line down. And we're going to start with a dot. This is our F clef. This is the F line that that dot is on. And we're going to come from the left side of that dot, come up and bump against this top line, and then curve down in our backwards C. Okay. Just like the treble clef was pointing out where G is, the bass clef is pointing out where the F below the middle C is, and that's where that dot is, and we're going to put these 2 dots that go right around that same line that make it very clear that that's our F. Okay, let's move to the other side here. We're going to go ahead and connect these clear down here. This is the end of our very long piece. It's going to be a full 2 measures. So we're going to put a second line. And traditionally at the end of a piece, that second line is a little bit thicker. So if you want to take the time to make it thicker, you certainly can. We're going to turn this into a repeat sign. And we're going to do that by putting 2 dots, and they go in the middle 2 spaces. All right, there is our repeat symbol. Okay, we're going to go back and we're going to put in our time signature. We're going to put this composition is going to be in 4/4 time, or 4/4 time. We're going to draw 2 4s then, and they're going to be above the middle line and below the middle line. This first 4 tells us that there are going to be 4 beats in every measure. And the bottom 4 tells us what kind of note gets the beat. So a quarter note gets the beat. It's just like a fraction, 1/4. 1/4 of an hour is a quarter of an hour. 1/4 of a dollar is a quarter. This 1/4 of a whole note is a quarter note. So we're going to have 4 quarters worth of notes in every measure. We're going to go ahead and draw those down here. Same rules. The 4 above the middle line and the 4 below the middle line means the same thing. You're going to draw the same thing on both sides. Okay, now we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do 2 measures. So we're going to go ahead and put a bar line that goes through the full staff right there. All right, let's draw some note heads on here. We're going to fill them in because we're going to use 4 quarter notes. I'm going to go ahead and start on an F right here. So I'm going to fill in this space with this dot. And then I'm going to go up to the very next note. So the next one will have that G. There's our G that we pointed out with our treble clef. The next one up is in the space, and then the next one up is going to have the line going through it. And if I continue going, some of these are bigger than others because of my wavy lines. There's the D and the E and the F. Wow, 8 notes. We started on an F and we ended on an F. Okay, so just a reminder, when we're going to put the stems on these, when the stem goes up, it's going to be on the right side of the note head. When the stem goes down, it'll be on the left. Now I had to look up, I wanted to know what the rules were so that I really could make sure that I tell you accurately how to do this. If you're below this middle line, then the stem is going to go up. If you're above the middle line, the stem's going to go down. And if you're on the middle line, like this note right here, you can choose which way you want it to go. Now, if you're curious, there is a very specific length for that line, for that stem. If your note is an F, that stem should go a full octave. So it should go right from this F to this F. So I will draw this first one accurately, but I'm not going to worry about it for all the rest of them because we're doing the curvy lines and making it look all artistic anyway. So here we go. So I'm going to go up on this one. We're below that middle line, so we're going to go up, and it would go right to that F. So right to that line. Up, up. This one we can choose. Because I'm so close to my bar line, I'm going to go ahead and put this one going down. And these would all go down as per the rules. Okay. Now I want to fill in some notes in the bass clef as well, and I actually want them to match what the treble clef notes are going to do. So I'm going to use, I had used an F here, I want to use an F here as well. I think if I started on my bass clef F and then went up from there, I'm going to end up having to draw a whole bunch of ledger lines, and I don't want to do that today. So I'm going to start on this F way down here. So there's our F. Next note is a G. It's got the line going through it, and then an A, and then a B, and then we'll just keep going. C, D, E. That one's going to look big because the way my lines ended up being, and F. Okay, so here we go. These are nice and low, so the stems are going to go up. Up, 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 up. Now, this one's right on the middle line, so now I can switch if I want, or I can do one more going up. I'm going to go ahead and switch and come down. Okay, so if I were to write in the names of each of those notes, these are Fs, both of them. G, A, B, C, D, E, and F. Now, if you want to get really good at figuring out what the notes are, this is a great exercise to do. You want to make sure that as you're drawing the grand staff that you make sure you get your 5 lines. Make sure to line that G clef, that treble clef up just right so you'll always know where the G is. And the same thing with your bass clef. Line it up so you'll always know where that F is. And then draw in some notes. Now, my melody here is not terribly exciting. Maybe yours will be different. I hope it will. And you'll try a few different things. Maybe go up for a little bit and then go down. Maybe even put a few skips in. But try to draw the same thing for each hand. And then here comes the secret sauce. If you really want to get good at this, what you're going to do is you're going to play your composition that you just made. And you're going to say the names of the notes. And you're going to do it with the repeat. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that right now. My very fascinating melody. I'm going to play it and say the note names. And I'm going to use the repeat. So when I get to the end here, I'm going to go back and start all over again. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so if you're brand new to this, that's probably a little faster than you're going to want to go. You're going to want to try that nice and slow. And then draw the grand staff again. Start all over. Make a new melody. Write in the note names. Practice it and say it. And review old ones. And you'll get really good at this. I hope that helps. I hope you learned a lot about the grand staff. And I hope you have a lot of fun with this. Happy practicing, and we'll see you next time. If you liked this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Bye.